overdrive and you're behind the steering wheel. Touching you, touching me, touching you, touching me. Oh, I believe in a thing called love. Listen to the rhythm of my heart. There's a chance we can make it now. We'll be rocking till the sun goes down. I believe in a thing called love. I wanna kiss you every minute of every hour of every day. Oh, I'm in a spin, but baby, everything is A-okay. Touching you, boo, boo, boo. Touching me, touching you, touching me. Oh, I believe in a thing called love. Listen to the rhythm of my heart. There's a chance we can make it now. We'll be rocking till that sun goes down. I believe in a thing called love. Ooh, hey. Touching you, touching me, touching you, touching me. I believe anything called love. Listen to the rhythm of my heart. There's a chance we can make it now. We'll be rocking till the sun goes down. I believe in a thing called love, 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 I believe in a thing called love. Listen to the rhythm of my heart. There's a chance we can make it now. We'll be rocking till the sun goes down. I believe in a thing called love. I believe in a thing called love, love, love. I believe in a thing called love.
That's all I can do. Welcome to the virtual Stab Comedy Theater. It's time for the Suzette Veneti Show. Please welcome to your screen as soon as I find it. Oh, this day is starting off well. Suzette, welcome to your screen, your host, Suzette Veneti.
Hey everybody, it's 5:11 on October 18th. It's a Sunday, so if you have something to do on Saturday the 17th, you're late. Go back in time, quick, do it. And if you can go back in time, quick, go back in time to 2016. Fix some shit. Please, time traveler watching the show. Okay, here we go. Let's start the show. Got some jokes for you. Got some jokes we're going to skip. Tell you what they're about, but child, you didn't tune in for a paragraph. I'm going to give it to you anyway. You didn't tune in for 2 paragraphs worth of jokes for 1 punchline. That I'm going to save you from. Okay. Sacramento recently moved up 5 spots in the rattiest cities in the United States, according to a survey run by Orkin, the pest control company. They run this survey every year to find out which cities are the most rat-filled. I just want to extend my apologies to Sacramento and everybody in the Sacramento region. I try to brush it, but it remains ratty. Sorry. I moved us up 5 spots. A 26-year-old man, Kyle Burgess, filmed a YouTube clip that has become a 3 million viewed YouTube clip famous. I said that weird. Sorry, tired. It's become a 3 million view famous clip as he was hiking in his native Utah, and when he was hiking, he was stalked for almost 6 minutes by a cougar. Scary stuff. Mr. Burgess, alone, with no wingmen to help him scream at the cougar to go away, as he walked backwards for 6 minutes, uphill, while filming the cougar. Anyhow, Mr. Burgess survived the ordeal, and the cougar made several attempts to lunge at him, but eventually got bored, turned around, and went away. As if being a woman in your 40s wasn't hard enough. Am I right? Now 26-year-old men are filming you and putting you on the internet, on YouTube. Good thing Mr. Burgess wasn't in heels walking uphill for 6 minutes, backwards, in stilettos. Even Bryce Dallas Howard in Jurassic Park would kick them off at that point. Researchers from, oh man, I could say this the other day when I wasn't tired, Eötvös Loránd University in Budapest put 217 border collies ranging from age 6 months to 15 years through various tests to determine their personalities. They found that when a dog is around 3 years old, the canine equivalent of the start of middle age, their excitement and enjoyment for new situations dwindles. So to recap that paragraph, when a dog is around middle age, their excitement and enjoyment for new situations dwindles. Dogs, much like humans, become jaded by the time that they reach middle age and lose interest in new experiences and activities, a study has found. And God forbid a bitch in middle age decides to date, because then a 26-year-old man is going to record her and put her on the internet. The scientists add that the dog's sociability remains the constant throughout their life, so a shy puppy will not spontaneously turn into a gregarious character as it ages, and dogs never really learn to deal with adversity, the study found, because they only get marginally better at tolerating frustration with age. And that is my new motto, Suzette Veneti, marginally tolerating frustration as I age. Oh, okay. Oh, shit. Here's the 5-paragraph joke for a pun. Look, I don't do that. I'm sorry. I wrote it, but I don't do it. It's about a bachelor pad that's 2,000 years old in Rome. You can look up the story. Roman bachelor pad, 2,000 years old, unearthed. If you really are curious, hit me up on the chats, and I'll tell you the joke. Moving on. This is bad too, but you know what? I'm going to say it because I skipped the last one. In an effort to acknowledge sustainability from the car industry, Hyundai is partnering with 6 leading fashion designers to make high-fashion garments out of car scraps. A corset made from an airbag? Yes. A vest made from an airbag? Yes. A pearl necklace made from a seatbelt? Hyundai and the fashion designers acknowledge that this practice isn't scalable or realistic for mass production, but they hope that having designers make these pieces and selling the pieces for upwards of $1,400 will raise awareness for upcycling fashion going forward. I'm sorry, I'm still stuck on a pearl necklace made out of a seatbelt, because pearl necklaces are usually made out of one or two things. One thing is pearls, the other one is the other kind of pearl necklace. Neither one of those is a seatbelt, although it could look like one. I'm just saying, if somebody gave me a pearl necklace made out of seatbelt, I'm out. I'm sorry, Hyundai. I'm not staying in a relationship with you. I'm going to start dating, I don't know, Honda? Nissan? Okay. There's election news. Boo. We'll have a lot more news in like a week and a half. Ellen Pompeo wants women to be in charge of hospitals in more authority and responsibility stage positions. Not a joke, just interesting, I thought. Demi Lovato addressed Trump with a new song called Commander-in-Chief. Also not a joke. I'm doing that ASMR right now. I'm sorry, guys. This is also interesting. I don't have a joke, but a news anchor in Boston got fired for wearing a Harley Quinn Suicide Squad costume and appearing in the movie Hubie Halloween. I guess the joke would be maybe they just didn't like the Adam Sandler movie Hubie Halloween, but I thought it was cute. Oh man, I wish I had wrote a joke about a robot dolphin. There's news about a robot dolphin. I wasn't able to dive into that one. Sharon Stone is done with dating, according to CNN.com. Yeah, because 26-year-old Utah men recorded her and put her all over the internet. I'd retire from dating too. But hey, Sharon, my girl, I'm with you. Until I get a show going with Chelsea Bierce and Heather Weber about dating, I'm retiring from dating too, because it's hard out there for us cougars. I don't know if I'm a cougar. 37? Like a cub? A white woman working in a restaurant made a bistro for a squirrel. This is true. You can Google that. She made a bistro for a squirrel, and it eats there every day. She missed running her own bistro for people in the COVID times, so she made a bistro. A white woman made a bistro for a squirrel. And I repeat, a white woman made the bistro because nobody but white people would make a bistro for a squirrel. That's weird. Okay, and finally, also not a joke, but really cool, Ruth Bader Ginsburg is getting a statue in Brooklyn. Like the Avenger she is. Okay, and with that, we're going to go with our contributor. He has a weekly YouTube show, and you can catch him there. You can catch him here every Sunday at 5 p.m., and when life goes back to normal, catch him in person. Also, Stab Comedy above me, you can send them coin. Send this next contributor coin, because he's here every Sunday for you guys. Please, bees and boos, give it up for Mean Dave.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm unmuted, right?
You're good.
Yes. Well, I don't contribute every week. I had to take last week off because I had to go eat pie and pizza. As a matter of fact, I got somebody to put on blast. Golden Boy Pizza in San Francisco. Do not go there because it's it was basically my friend. I'm dear friends with the comedian Nina G, who loves to keep reminding me and others she's Italian, and she loves Italian, authentic Italian, whatever, blah blah blah. And so I was invited to the social distanced, limited invite only birthday celebration of her mom, Kathy. God bless her, love her to pieces. Her and her husband Jerry. They're kind of like their parents that I wish would adopt me now. And so we went to go pick up some pizza from this place, Golden Boy Pizza in San Francisco. I had no idea. I don't know anything about this. All I knew is it's one of those Italian, shit, whatever, stereotypes. And So we're on our way out there. Also, I had a weird 24 hours prior to that, so I won't get into all that. But so we're there, we're on our way out there, and she orders the pizza on the way out there. And there's a guy on, sometimes you hear people just, you figure, this guy the thing is, he gave friendly service, overly friendly, too friendly, almost aggressively friendly. And I whenever you just sound aggressive, I hate aggressive people. I don't want to say hate, it's a strong word, but it's when somebody says, hey, what's going on? I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Get out of my face. I don't like that shit. I don't like the souls of people who have that salesman in them that constantly have to always be up your ass with their personality. Go out there and get them and da-da-da. No, fuck all that. There's enough of that. There's a reason why we're in the place we're in America. It's because of personalities like that. All right. And even with weed being legalized, it doesn't even calm everybody the fuck down. That's why everybody's got anxiety and everybody.
In the streets, drunk all night. You think you're hot shit, and ooh, I love it. I love it. Yeah, yeah. Stumbling, but yeah, you're still looking hella fine. Keep doing what you're doing, and we'll make you mine. Hot mess, and I'm falling for you, and I'm like, hot damn, let me make you my boo. 'Cause you
Hey, everybody. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Comcast continues to be the best company on the planet. So, welcome back to your screen, your host, Suzette Veneti.
Hey, Booze. So I'm a hot mess, but who's hot messier? Comcast. What's up, Comcast? We lost Mean Dave to the great Comcast failing of 2020. No, he had to go. He had to do his other show. But as an Italian, I can say that everything he said was true about Italians. Stereotypes are there for a reason. Anyhow. Okay, cool. We're going to get going with the show. And I did the monologue. We had the Mean Dave. So it's just time for the interview. And let me get to there we go. 2017 San Francisco Comedy Competition winner. He's appeared on Comedy Central. He travels the country bringing joy to countless people with his stand-up comedy. He is a man of many talents and a really great comic and a really great follow and a really great friend of mine. Please check him out on social media, but mostly check him out on person, including at Laughs Unlimited. I think what is it, November 28th?
November 27th, 28th.
November 27th, 28th. Bees and booze, peers and queers, give it up for Ellis Rodriguez.
What up, though?
What's up?
Suzette, what's up, bitch? What you doing?
What's up? How are you?
Comcast is fucking up over there.
Comcast is fucking up.
So I got to see the whole Mean Dave thing, man. It was beautiful.
Do you want to give the viewers? This is weird to ask you to finish Mean Dave's rant. But you got to see the end of it. Do you want to tell us how it ended?
Well, then we got separated, and then I was like, damn, I never actually seen you be mean, Dave. But apparently, fuck Golden Boy Pizza, fuck cheese. He hates cheese.
Oh.
And there's even a particular, it's not lactose, right? There's a particular chemical in cheese that he has centered his hate on. And also, I think maybe the Hell's Angels.
Okay, he
hates all of these people.
That's fair. I just wish we had been there, but Comcast. Okay, so
yeah, I knew I wasn't gonna do it justice.
No, you did. Though. You did. I'm just
because he called it a rant, and it was just bam, bam, bam.
Well, and you're right. And everyone that comes on the show that knows Mean Dave is not mean. But everyone that comes on the show that doesn't know him just assume, my drag. I'm just gonna call her co-host. My drag. Brunch co-host Taryn through you. She came on the show and I was like, Taryn, Mean Dave, and she was like, oh, is he mean like me? And I was like, no, it's actually short for Meaningful David. And he was like, it is short for Meaningful David. And so, but yeah, we missed.
How was brunch today?
Brunch was killer. It was great.
Is it? Because we're at at small capacity, right?
Yeah, we have a limited capacity because we're indoors now. The city signed off on it. We're above board on everything. And it's a fun time. You should come to a show.
I should come to a show.
The food is amazing.
Okay.
And like taking.
Does Sydney ever come to the shows?
Sid
Oh my
has
God.
come to drag shows, but she's never come to brunch. So
I'm gonna drag her with me.
snap her up, bring her, because she
Damn.
goes back to Badlands day one for me, to my day one at there
Mhm.
performing. But no, I was gonna say you'll like it, and I'm so excited to tell you to come because if Mount Rushmore, if Sacramento had a Mount Rushmore of drag queens, taking myself
Okay.
out of the equation, I am with 3 of the 4 faces of that Mount Rushmore. Like,
Are in Sacramento?
yeah.
Of the Mount Rushmore?
Well, I'm saying the Sacramento drag Mount Rushmore of drag queens.
Yes, yes.
So these are the best 3 of the best drag queens.
Taking
that-
yourself out.
Taking myself out. The 3 of the best drag queens.
What if you didn't take yourself out? Would you be in the Mount Rushmore?
Can't answer that myself. I'm gonna say
Ooh, wow.
no. I'm gonna say
Okay.
no because if I was really great, I would say yes.
How many drag queens are in Sacramento?
I would say probably percentage-wise. It
No,
probably,
how many?
Right.
Because you're talking about the Mount Rushmore. There's 4.
Well,
out of how
I'm
many?
comparing it to comedy, right? So probably
Okay.
10% of the comedy scene is the drag scene.
10% of the comedy scene.
Yeah, and we've had this conversation, like how many comics are in Sacramento, you and I.
Sure.
The audience is like, what are you talking about? So just to fill them in, we've talked about, Ellis and I have talked about how many comics are in Sacramento. We're counting open micers, we're counting headliners, we're counting features, we're counting anyone that does comedy at least once a year in Sacramento. I estimated, what did I set up a huge number, like 2,000 or something.
Right.
So I'd say there's probably, I think that sounds right. There's probably 200 people that do drag because there are also drag kings.
There's only about 200 people who do comedy.
Well, right.
If you include people who do it once a year, there can't be more than 100 or so, 100, 250 people who do stand-up.
No, absolutely. I mean, because then you're
Yeah.
getting into like,
So there's about as many drag queens as there are comics.
But that's the thing. Like, what are your parameters for going from 2,000 to 200 to 100?
I mean, I'm just saying, like, I actually get around. I get to the mics.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of comics get to all the open mics. I do,
Mm-hmm.
and when I go, I see the same people over and over. You know, so if I know 50% of the new comics, then how many of them can there be?
Well,
You know what I mean? And I know 20, 30 comics.
I would challenge that though, because like we had
Mhm.
Emma Haney on the show a couple weeks ago. Emma Haney
Yeah.
doesn't open mic. She's going to post COVID.
Yes,
But she doesn't. She didn't before. So I mean, that's,
but I know Emma though. That's what I'm saying. When I do shows and then I run into comics, I know all of the working comics.
Okay. So then this is what I'll do to answer your question. I will introduce you to a drag equivalent peer of mine where you are, and like because you're certainly, if there was a Mount Rushmore of Sacramento comics, I would say your face would be right there.
No way. No way.
I mean, we can talk about it. Do you wanna name the 4?
Who's the Mount Rushmore? Okay. Okay.
Do you
Who's on the Mount Rushmore of Sacramento comics?
you want mine or you
Because
want?
it's definitely not me.
I mean, it's hard to put it to 4. If I was gonna first choice, hands down, Cheryl the Soccer Mom.
I would say, that's an interesting pick.
Easy.
That's a good pick.
Thank you.
Okay, this is what I would say. The problem with the Mount Rushmore is that it's historical.
Mhm.
So we're talking about comics that we know and came up with.
Oh, okay.
There were comics that came way before us.
True.
And so you're trying to do, if you're doing contemporary like comics now, I mean, Mount Rushmore, you're celebrating the people who've done the most, right? Because they would have put the scene on the map the most.
Well, I guess when I
Right.
say Mount Rushmore, I'm just thinking that like the four faces that would represent, and they can be current, it can be past, it can be
Okay.
both.
It's Ngayo,
Oh, that's a good choice.
just so you know.
That's-
It's Ngayo. It's Mikey Winfield.
Okay.
I'm gonna put J.R. De Guzman before me. I'm gonna put Kyrie before me. Um, he doesn't claim us anymore, but Fury, Stephen Fury is savage. He started in Sacramento.
Yeah, I mean, I guess,
Um,
he would have to be.
he doesn't really rep. He doesn't really rep for us
Oh,
or
if you don't
whatever.
rep it, then
But
you
I
don't
would say
have to.
Ngaio and Mikey for certain have achieved the most in comedy, and hence by them doing well, it opens doors and lets people be open to the idea that Sacramento comics have talent.
Okay.
You know.
I like
So,
the.
but then
I
when you
like
started
the.
talking about, I had a conversation with somebody, and we were like, I cannot name a female comic that was more vicious than Cheryl. Period. Like
Vicious?
like if you're live and she's on, like, she is amazing.
She is. I always say, like, pound for pound, when the money's on the line, that is the comedian I would choose to represent Sacramento. And here's why I say Cheryl the Soccer Mom. Also, I need to have her on my show.
Yes.
I've been trying. I don't know if she knows I've been trying because I've been subtly trying. But she can do every room in comedy. There's not a
She's
crowd
vicious. Yeah.
that she can't. You know who else? You know what other woman comic is equally vicious in my opinion?
Hmm.
Regina Givens.
Oh yeah, she's underrated.
She
Regina
is
is very, very underrated.
stupid underrated, and I have seen her.
Oh my god.
I have seen
Yeah.
her murder every type of crowd.
Yeah.
And I would say, like, it's cool to be like, I feel like one of those like high schoolers in on the indie band. I'm like, Regina's cool, and then everyone's gonna find out, and I'll be like, yeah, I've been known.
But also like Kristen Frisk, pretty much all those girls from that old Real Housewives of Rio Linda crew. But Kristen Frisk, she's got that podcast, Frisk and Wook. I think it's fantastic. And then Steph Garcia. Have you seen her lately?
I saw her pre-COVID.
Oh my God. I saw her at one of the live shows. It was her birthday show.
Mm-hmm.
And she had like a new thing that's like about her dog, like eating weed or something like that. It's like next level, man.
She was,
like it's crazy to see good comics get better.
right.
And she was already a really good comic. And then it's also weird to see comics getting better during COVID when there's no stage time. But like she did a set, the whole thing was fire. And there was this like a 5-minute part where she was just like my brain couldn't think. I was laughing so hard.
Okay, couple things. I need a
Yes.
segment on my show. I've been wanting that. This is the 27th show, and I've wanted this segment from the start. I want words defined. So could you define for my audience, just in case they don't know? I'm sure they do. But when you say a comedian set was fire, that's kind of a given. But go ahead and explain.
What does it mean when the set was fire?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think like you're supposed to get up and be funny, right? So there's a certain level where you become competent, and what you want to do is like you want to be like when you're not quite connecting with the audience and you're having a bad set, you want your failures to be competent, right? And so like there's like a certain floor where you're like, yeah, that guy was all right. You know what I mean? They didn't embarrass themselves. No one saw the time and was like, whatever. So then after that, you can have a good set, right? Where you filled the time and everybody was laughing the whole time nonstop. And, but still nobody remembers you or, but you were the host, you were the feature, whatever, you did your job. That's a good set. But then sometimes like there's artistry. Sometimes the crowds don't even know, but there's a difference between having a good set and your set was fire. Like there's a vibe to it where technically that's a kill. Like there's a feeling like when you connect emotionally to the point where you're just like crying, stomach hurts, you got Bengay for your guts, like that I can't breathe, that kind of like the contagious energy that's going around, that's fire, And especially as a comic, you feel that less and less. because less and less you see comics and not know where it's going or not know how it's going to end or something like that. So when Steph is doing her whole set, and her whole set was fire, but when she does that one, like there was a section of it where she was just in the zone, and I didn't know, you know what I mean? Like my brain let go and was just like, what the fuck? You know, I didn't care when the next punchline was, but it was just, you let go of your brain and you let the comic just do the thinking for you, and you just try to follow that thought that she was on, and it was just like, it was magnificent, man. It's magnificent. It's like when I seen Wendy figure it out overnight, where she just learned how to like grab people's energy and just own it, you know? You should see Steph Garcia live. That's a bad bitch.
I want to remind the audience that you are an extremely accomplished comedian, and you're
Not at
saying,
all.
yes, you are, and you're saying this about another person, so they should know how fire she is, because a lot of
she's
people
fire.
would say you're fire, so she's like blue flame hot.
Yeah, I don't know. Steph's been here for a while.
So
Steph's been before me.
to answer your question, am I on the Mount? No. Based on who we just said is on the comedy Mount Rushmore, no, I am not on the drag Mount Rushmore of Sacramento. I bought a ticket to the park, and I'm gazing up.
Okay.
But the rest of the queens in the brunch, they're fire, and you should come.
You think you could get on the Mount Rushmore for both? Maybe.
That's so far away.
If you just put in that work.
So much work. It's a lot of work. I think with work and dedication, I have been Suzette Veneti. I have been lucky with the opportunities that I have stumbled upon and fallen forward time and time again. So because of that, it's possible.
Okay.
Because that's part of it, right? Like.
Yeah.
Lou Gehrig, first baseman for the Yankees. Some sports knowledge for everybody.
God rest his soul.
He only got to play because the Yankees had a regular first baseman who was an all-star, by the way, and he hardly missed any games. And he had a headache or a backache or some 1920s sort of conundrum. I think he had the gout.
Syphilis.
I don't know. Yeah, syphilis gout. And he was like, Coach, I'm taking the day off, put the rook in. So they put rookie Lou Gehrig in, and what does he do? He set the consecutive game streak of like thousands of games. Old first baseman never came back. So sometimes it's just about opportunity. You can't be Lou Gehrig unless you get that one start. So maybe, and I'll say only maybe, not because I'm good, but because the people around me, the people that have done my show, the contributors that I've have every week, the interview guests, I'm in good company, and if I fail, it's me.
Okay.
So that's my answer to that. But
okay, I believe in you.
It's good, and you should come. Okay,
I believe in you, Suzette.
I want to introduce you because just in case the audience watching, we haven't, like, you're wonderful in your own right, and I do.
But they don't know that. You know why? Because I ain't done shit. That's.
But you have. You're talking COVID or
no,
like in
because
life?
if I had done shit, then you wouldn't have to explain to who I am to people.
No. Do you get booked across the country?
What's that?
Do you get booked across the country?
I do.
Okay, well, there you go.
Well, I used to. Before COVID.
Yeah, well, okay. So what have you been up?
It's still coming back though.
What have you been up to during COVID?
What have I been up to during COVID?
Uh-huh.
God. When did this start? Back in March? What have I been doing for half the year?
I can tell you exactly when it started because I had you booked for my show. It started March 12th.
March 12th.
March 12th is when my show got canceled.
I got a new day job doing kids Zoom distance learning with my godchildren. And I got single. That was fun. And lately comedy's coming back. And my sanity at the same time. Coincidence? I think not. So lately it's been comedy. That's what I've been up to.
Okay.
Which is good.
Well, I'm glad because if it is with your sanity, then
Oh, my sanity.
you breathe deep and enjoy. So
Through a mask.
November 27th and 28th, Laughs kind
Yes.
of I had Alex Elkin and Ty Rivera on.
Yes.
Right when when Laughs started going outside, and then we had Jimmy
Okay.
Earl. And he also was one of the first people booked, and I know you were too. But I'm saying those people. So those guys were all on the show. So we've talked on the show about what Laughs did outside. Now they're back
Right.
inside though.
Yeah, they
And
went back inside.
You're in the showroom.
It had a good name. What was it called? Inside Jokes, Outside Laughs.
Yeah.
That thing was awesome. Because everybody was doing Zoom shows. So just to be like in the presence of people was cool. And then I saw a video of me doing jokes, and it's weird because you can't hear. You just see the person kind of pantomiming a thing, and then suddenly you see all these people with headphones start to laugh.
Yeah.
And it was a very unique experience.
I went.
And I think once they went inside, they lost seats.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
That's something that happened with us at brunch. Like we had more
Uh-huh.
seats outside than inside because
Right, you had more seats. Yeah.
yeah, because you can just keep expanding. I mean, same thing with Laughs. Like
Mhm.
they were just in the street where we were in a parking lot, and you can just keep your footprint can get bigger.
Yeah.
But now you're confined, and you got to.
And shout out to Jenny at Laughs, because that idea was so good, and she was so early to adapt to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's now been copied by basically everybody.
Yeah, but
The
she
whole
was,
headphone silent comedy thing.
She was the pioneer.
Yeah, she was. It's like all the rage now.
It's
And
funny
and
because
it's a super unique experience.
most people would probably want noise canceling headphones when I'm doing comedy,
Right.
but I'm okay, so I have to ask this question because you are Ellis Rodriguez, and you are famous for this advice. When new comics come up to
Okay.
you, they say, "What can I do to get better?" And you say,
Yes. When people say, "What should I do in comedy?" I tell them to quit.
"Yes." You tell them to
Yes.
quit, and that is a shock
Yes.
to their little tiny heart.
I have been told that it breaks little tiny hearts,
What?
which is, I guess, the point of saying it.
Look, this is a theme that's come up over 27 weeks. If you can't handle, we talked about it last week actually. I had a drag queen who just won a reality competition on the show. If you can't handle people on the internet or in real life, like judging your performance and critiquing it, then you are not supposed to be a performer.
Yeah.
Okay, so if somebody can't handle you, one person, telling them, no matter who you are, telling them to quit, if they can't handle that, maybe this isn't for them. Maybe they should find something they want to
Right.
keep at. But why do you tell them to quit? What about comedy makes you say, run, don't do this?
Like, if you're really, really early on and you're like, I'm going to be a stand-up comedian and I'm going to do this, you got this whole dream thing or whatever. Like, I think people think about quitting, right? You know, it's 6 months in, a year in. At some point, you have to confront whether or not you're going to quit, right? Comedy, artistry in general is a long road. You know what I mean? So for me, it's not so much about the judgment too, but just about confronting, like, how committed to this are you? If somebody you're like, nah, this person's doing pretty well, I would like their opinion. They're like, oh, get the fuck out. Don't do this. You know, if that's enough to make you quit then you don't have the heart for this or whatever. And I think when you confront the idea of like quitting, you start to make you ask yourself really good questions that you should start when you start doing comedy. Why are you doing this? What is success? What is not success? And I think you have to have a good idea for what that is. Like, why would I quit? Because if somebody giving you the hard truth, or, you know, because there's the other thing too, is like, nobody hires comedians. That's the other thing too. They're like, I want to be rich and famous. Then why do you want to be a comedian? Most comedians are not rich and famous, and the ones that are, most of them did it by being actors and being, you know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
hosts and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's like, just go do that. You're wasting my stage time by trying to pretend you're a comic when really this is a means to an end. But if you want to be a writer, the best way to work out your material is on stage. But you should be a writer. You should write. That's why I tell people quit. But if they want to be rich and famous, you should quit. If you think you're the funniest person ever and that just entitles you to some career, you should quit. You know?
Yeah.
It's really good advice.
Well,
it's really good advice, especially all those people who quit. Can you imagine that, dude? Can you imagine just spending like 6 years of your life working on this 10-minute set and then you quit?
Sometimes, like, if I'm exhausted and I feel like I'm, like, not that I've topped out, but, like, I'm stalling, like, I'm plateauing, I'm like, oh, should I quit? And then I'm like, no, because I don't want people to say, oh, she quit.
Right.
So, like, I got to keep just...
That's part of the sad sickness. Yeah. That's
yeah,
why it's like, quit
oh,
early.
it's a tick. I would
Quit
say...
early, yeah.
My translation of what you said is, like, I have a pathological need to do this. I would be doing this in the bank line. My favorite open mic is the grocery checker because I have 5 seconds with him or her, and they have been told the corniest, shittiest jokes all day, right?
Yes.
Because everyone likes to get in line like, oh, should I bag it? And they're like, no, just put it in my hands. And it's like 8 cans of soup or some bullshit. That's not funny, sir.
Right.
Go home.
Yeah.
I have 5 seconds to make this jaded...
Get a new material.
Yeah, this jaded, sardonic...
What's your joke when they ask if you should bag it then?
Oh, I don't let them define my joke. I make my own...
Very well.
I come with my own material. I shoot it. If I get a laugh... honestly, that is my open mic. That goes in my set. If I can make you laugh as the checker with my joke...
Yes.
That's it. And it's honestly, it's sometimes...
I like to pretend I'm on the phone.
Uh-huh.
And then I fire my maid for like stealing my watch, and I've deported her. You know, like I say something really... I say I'm voting for Trump. Or, you know, I have like a really loud conversation that's like obviously not true.
Mm-hmm.
And try not to smile and see if the checker actually thinks that or not.
This is only funny because I know where you shop for groceries because I know where you bank pre-COVID, and it's at a grocery store. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I know all the
It's a good
checkers
time.
too.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is the answer. If somebody tells you to quit, so here's the thing. Like, and I think you'll agree, stand-up comedy specifically, you will end up it will break your relationship. You will quit your day
Yes.
job.
Yes.
You will be sad. You will become sadder and maybe develop a mental illness. And you will be broke.
If you want to be a comedian, you have a mental illness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you're on the spectrum of some. We all are, but this is more advice. This is the same thing I always tell the young comics. 95% of people, their number one fear is public speaking. So they basically disqualify themselves from being a comic, right? Now, the 5% of people that are left that can stand up on the regular and just speak in public, how many of them are funny? Like, how many people do you know? How many of those people are funny? 1 out of 20, 1 out of 50. So we're only 5% of the population. We're only 1 out of 20, 1 out of 50 of those people. And then how many of those people hate themselves? They just want to dedicate the first 2-3 years of their career of working for free and working at cost and bombing and hanging out with mentally disturbed people.
Drink tickets.
Like, it's just, I mean, the people that are left, and not all of them are mentally unstable, but they're probably just super tightly wound. I don't know. Like, that collection of people is a very tiny group of people. You know what I mean? And if you're like a well-adjusted person that can do anything else, that's what you should do. Like, I'm not even like trying to break people's hearts. Like, I'm trying to save them. Like, do you want to get married? Then go be something else. Like, because like I feel maybe I'm just speaking for me, but the longer I do this, the less I'm able to relate to normal people, or muggles, as I like to call them. But if you're not creative and present at all times, and your ego's not built into like all the things but like, if you can't just kind of play and live in that world, then I can't really relate to you. You know what I mean? And there's like normal people. Obviously, I got civilians in my life, but they're not basic bitches. You know what I mean?
So I have
Like-
I have a friend. She is normal as far as I know. But she
How boring.
But she wanted to start. She started stand up comedy after COVID started.
Okay.
Her and her boyfriend broke up.
Yikes.
She thought about quitting her day job.
What's her day job?
Oh, I shouldn't say, just in case.
Oh, okay.
'Cause she still works.
Well,
it.
if she's fine, you tell her to holler at your boy.
Well, that's the problem. She kept trying to come see you. But
Oh no, she's doing comedy.
Your show kept getting smoked out.
Yeah. Well, if she's doing comedy, I can't date her anyway. It's bad business.
But she's excited to see you do a set. She's heard a lot of good things.
Tell her to come November 27th, 28th.
Laughs Unlimited.
I'm
Inside
gonna be
inside
doing
jokes.
A bunch of new stuff there too.
Inside jokes inside the showroom. All right. Somebody ignores your advice. My friend comes to you, right? She says,
Yeah.
"What should I do?" You say, "Quit." She's like, "No, I reject this advice." What then?
Yes. Then I would say a bunch of other stuff that I've said a million times before, but I do have a new answer. I think like Andrew Schultz. You heard of him?
Mm-hmm.
I think Andrew Schultz really is doing it the right way. And I would say, just as before, I'm saying if you want to get famous or you want to make money, then you need to go into other avenues of entertainment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that stand-up comedy seems very like an avenue, but in the scope of the business, it really isn't. I think for a long time and for a little bit longer, there's an avenue for you, Suzette. Like people that have a show, people that are online. And I would say, especially with the diminished COVID and all this stuff, it's like if I was a young comic, I would start exposing myself on the other mediums because that's where the future seems to be. The future seems to be online. And what kind of performers and creators and artists that's going to make, I don't know. But I think comics need to remember that we've always been a very niche, particular breed of artists. And it's always been that way and it will always be that way. And we have to do other things to survive. And we have to do other things to really rise in prominence so that we can really do. Like, I have not been able to do comedy at the level I want because I'm not that level of comic. I haven't achieved a big enough audience that people are like, well, what does Ellis have to say on this subject? Nobody gives a fuck. They're just like, hey, we hired you, be funny. And then they hire me, I'm funny. You know, but if you want to do something bigger, which I'm really itching to do, I would tell young comics, well, I'm trying to, but they should do what you're doing, Suzette. They should start entertaining people. They should start building devices and you know what I mean? Getting vehicles to push their creativity and who they are as an artist and start connecting with people and finding their artists so that and if they really have a passion for stand-up, then, well, now you got somebody to sell tickets to, you know? But if you're an artist of any kind, you've got to get in on this online market because I don't even think it's going to be available forever. Like, I'm pretty sure the gatekeepers, as we speak, are closing ranks and creating a facade so it seems like your YouTube channel or your Instagram or your social media is getting out like normal.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't really know what happens on the other side. And like more and more and more, it seems like it's not the Wild West anymore.
Mm.
And the people who are getting viewers aren't being rewarded. Online kind of seems like there's enough material that the gatekeepers are starting to decide who gets their voice out. You know what I mean? Or I'm being crazy?
No, I think you're making sense. I would say
Okay.
a couple of things. I would say, one, stand-up comedy is the hardest thing that I have ever done because the target is moving. So I've
Harder
danced and I've played.
Harder than
instruments.
dating? Jesus.
Well, no, performance-wise, but also yes,
Yeah.
harder than dating.
Does it seem harder? Stand-up seems hard. The hardest thing you've ever done?
Performance-wise, yeah. And here's why. Because with music, there's always the next note to play. With acting, there's the next line to read. When you're dancing, there's the next step in your choreographed routine. Stand-up, this is the only medium where we want people to interrupt us. We want them to stop us from what we're supposed to be doing to clap. We want an applause break. Not only that, but based on the audience, we could shift, and this is a place that you and I differ, and I'm going to go ahead and just let the audience know. Listen to Ellis, because I am not on the Mount Rushmore of anywhere.
Me either.
But I would say if it's not working for that room, then you gotta start throwing different pitches.
Well, I would say that it's the easiest because of exactly what you said.
Okay.
Right? Like, you get a genuine, immediate response to your art as you're doing it every moment. And so if you're playing a song and you're on to the next note, you're on to the next note. Like, is it going well? You know what I mean? Like, right? Or if you're reading a poem, and I think there's artists of every, especially performance art, that can really draw people in. But maybe it's because I'm probably worthless at everything else, you know? But for me, like, having everybody 6 seconds into your set immediately start giving you affirmation that they're on board is what you're saying. What's easier than that?
Okay, well, here's the problem.
You're getting getting the approval and the love right when you get on stage. And it's like, well, this is gonna go great. I did a show in Rockland, and they do not give a fuck. They're just sitting next to each other. The waiters aren't wearing masks. I was like, this is crazy. And I decided the first line I'm going to get up, I'm going to say, thank you for inviting me to your super spreader event. And if they don't laugh, I don't like them. You know what I mean? And they fall out, right? And then I'm just like, you know what? You see me. I see you. Let's have a good time. You know what I mean?
That's okay. That's why
that's the best feeling in the world.
That's why you're a great comic, though. Because out of
That's easy.
No, it's easy.
You say that. I walk out. I say, "Thank you guys for inviting me to your super spreader event." I know they all just finished watching Fox News on the way here. They all start laughing. They know I'm saying that because I know that they're aware of that. And we're saying we're kind of on other sides of the like. What's easier than that?
Here's the thing.
What's better than that?
One, you thought to say it, and you had the boldness to say it, the gumption. Two, I know you, and you had that smile that you smile. Oh my god! That one right there. You had that smile when you said it. You said, "Welcome to the Super Spreader event," and then you flashed those whites at the whites. You flashed your whites at the whites.
Oh, is that what I do? Is that my tell? I just start smiling.
Oh, because here's the thing. You're funny, and if you're enjoying,
I think I'm funny. That's the problem.
But
I think I'm funny.
If you're enjoying yourself, then the audience is like, well, he's a good-looking guy. He has nice teeth. He's funny. Okay. We should also like this because he said
I have horrible teeth. I hate my teeth. I got that stupid gap.
He gave us the permission to laugh by laughing at his own joke. But my thing was, that's why you're a good comedian. That's why you're on maybe the extended Mount Rushmore if you won't put yourself on the big one, because out of the 2,000 comics that we established Sacramento has every year.
You know what I will say at Mount Rushmore? I'm the tour guide. I'm the tour guide of Mount Rushmore. I know who's on there. I know all the stories.
You're still on the mountain. But how many of those 2,000 comics would crush that?
How many of those what?
Those 2,000 comics that we said exist every year.
Let's see. I don't think there are 2,000. And I've heard that number, and I've just been like, wow. But I think if you counted somebody who did an open mic once a year. I think there's about 200 max.
Really?
If there were more than 250, I would be shocked. Because like I said, I know all the working comics. You know what? Tony Roberts lives in Sacramento, bruh.
Oh, does he?
Tony Roberts is in Sacramento.
I didn't know he was Sacramento.
How the fuck is Tony Roberts not on the
well, I didn't know he lived here.
No, that's what I'm saying. And I love Tony Roberts. I don't hang out with him all the time, and I forget he lives in Sacramento. But Tony Roberts has done more than
Anybody.
like I would love to be Tony Roberts. You know what I mean? I can't watch Tony Roberts without laughing. So, and he's done a ton, and he's on Showtime and all kind of stuff. So, like, there's comics that we just don't. You know, you're friends with comics or you like them or whatever, and that's cool. But there's like legit, like savage monsters walking around Sacramento, and people just aren't thinking about them. But I don't think Tony's not been to a sold out show for the last decade.
Well, because couple things here. I mean, you kind of tied everything we've been talking about for however 40 minutes together. Tony Roberts is within the industry.
Lance Woods lives in Sacramento.
He does, but
by the way, you know, like Lance is, especially lately, Lance is like the king of the Sacramento Kings, and like there's some really amazing comics that came out of Sacramento. You know what I mean? Like I'm not even being. You know what? Here's the thing too. I promise you this, Suzette. If I was on the Mount Rushmore, you would never hear the end of it. Like I would say so. If I was one of the 4 best comics in Sacramento, I'd done the most. Like, rest assured, I would say so.
Okay, but here's a couple things. One, Lance is great, and he would agree. But he got that opportunity with the Kings, which kind of blew up his footprint. See, so that goes back to what I was saying. It's about opportunity, right?
No, but he made that.
He made it.
Like I said, he was getting on his social media.
Yeah.
He was sharing he has a genuine love for the Kings. Like, he loves the Kings. He wasn't faking it.
I mean, you talked about a sickness.
And you can see that.
People having sicknesses, yes, that is a sickness.
He has a sickness because he doesn't have a lot of vices, so he just puts it all on the King, a lot of energy on the King. And the Kings organization saw his talent, and we're like, hey, we want to highlight that. That's what, like, if you're a young performer, go online, find your avenue. You know, because that's a really good thing of what Lance did. And like, let's say somebody thought I was great, somebody thought Lance was great, and they try to do what Lance did. Good luck, but that's a much better avenue than me. You know, I'm for better or worse, a comic. Like, I love stand-up.
Like Tony Roberts,
singularly.
Like you said.
Yeah, Tony as well. But Tony's just funny, man.
No,
Tony's
I know.
Underrated, dude.
I know, but that's what
Tony is. Like, I'm embarrassed I didn't just say Ngaio, Tony Roberts, and I'm only saying Ngaio because I love Ngaio.
Ngaio's definitely up there.
I would say Mikey. I'm trying. We'll come up with a 4th by the time this is done. I like Cheryl. I like who else is in there? I don't know. It's not me.
Well, but Tony.
Oh damn! My neighbor's walking around with the short shorts. What happened? All right, my bad. I'm back.
But
Suzette,
I mean,
back.
I got the short. But I'm not.
Yeah, but you're sitting on it.
Yeah, I'm sitting on them. But no, okay, you can see, but the audience can't because we have a Zoom cam coming in from the side. They're like, "How can he see?" Because you got to pay extra. You got to pay Stab Comedy Theater Patreon for the extra view.
Yeah, you got a Patreon.
Yeah. Shout
out Jesse doing all the work.
Yes. Shout out to Jesse doing all the work. He makes the show look good.
No, I'm sorry. Boo-boo. Come on, Suzette. Not all the work. Were you like butthurt right now? Because Jesse's doing all the work.
Oh, no, I just sit here and talk to my friends. That's easy.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a good show.
The show doesn't happen without Jesse.
Yeah.
I could do it on Instagram, but it would look like shit.
Shout out Stab Theater.
And to you, your information's below you if anyone wants to send you some coin. No, but so you mentioned...
Yeah, send me some coin.
You mentioned that doing stand-up comedy is not a path to fame and fortune. And within the comedy scene, Tony is highly respected and venerable. I think I'm using that word right. But people that don't know stand-up comedy don't have the pleasure of knowing who he is necessarily.
Oh, God, he is God among men. He's a God among comics.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, like, if you want to be, you know, a comic who...
I'm intimidated by Tony Roberts.
I have never met him.
Like, I don't even know what to say to him. He's so savage. Like, I don't know, like, he is he's next level. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, I don't know how you could be in his presence for 5 minutes and not piss yourself. Like,
Well,
he's just savage.
that's how I feel doing my brunch.
Oh yeah, my definition of fire, Tony Robbins. Just go watch Tony Robbins do comedy and you'd be like,
See-
you know what? That was fire.
The way you're
That's just
talking
fire.
about him, though, that's how I feel about the queens I do brunch with, and that's how I feel
Okay.
about you and the other comics that I get to interview. So
Yeah.
So here's the thing. You've talked about everyone else's accomplishments. I will talk about yours really quick. You won the SF Comedy Competition, which is the biggest and best comedy competition in the world. Okay.
I hope so. It's the best thing I've ever done.
Maybe you were on Comedy Central.
hmm
You were in a Shaq Def Comedy Jam.
Yeah. That was fun.
You have been cool places and you have done cool stuff with comedy.
I have.
What do you think is the coolest to you? You're like meeting Tony Roberts.
Yeah. Actually, meeting you, Suzette, meeting Sydney and Swizz and all the comics I love, meeting, I would say, okay. Tying it all back to what we were talking about before is, now that I've been in comedy for so long,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? I really only understand other comics and you know what I mean? And like, I just feel a real esprit de corps with these people and a depth of relationship that I just love being around other artists that are also creating. And it's just a more interesting and robust and like present life. And I need that. I need it to live. And so I would be like, going into comedy, I met other people that were like me, and I met like this, for me, this kind of like endless supply of opportunities to be happy with people, to bring joy to people, you know what I mean? And so, and now that like I really think about it, I think, oh, was I really popular when I was a kid? Kind of, but I didn't know it. You know, like I remember leaving high school and people being like, oh, you were really popular in high school. And I guess I should have paid attention, but I didn't. I paid attention to the 5 people that I liked in my classes, you know? And like I only really connect with certain people. And those people tend to be artists and they tend to be whatever. And then I have these like interactions with those people. And you can own all the stuff you want, but for me, life experiences are the real valuable things. And so like, I just have had all these moments with comics, and like, I remember I was really disappointed when Chappelle's specials came out on Netflix,
Mm-hmm.
and the one that he did in the belly room or whatever. Did you see that one?
I saw the one he did at
I
Punch.
can't remember what it was called, but it's at the store and it's whatever. And it's like, I remember like I was humping legs to get a set at the fucking Comedy Store, and I got a last minute call and to do this like Latino showcase at the Comedy Store. Is it the store? I think it was the store. No, it was at the Factory. And I show up, and the guy's kind of disappointed because it's supposed to be a Latino show, and he's looking at me, and he's like, and I was like, dude, don't worry, I'm gonna be super Latino. And he's like, well, don't be cursing and don't say the N-word. And I was like, dude, it's fine, don't worry about it. So I'm super excited. I'm gonna be at the Factory, and then Chappelle walks in, and then I'm like, holy shit! And he was a god then, he's a god now. So I'm thinking, oh, you know, and a couple of the comics started leaving. And then I was like, where are you going? He's like, well, we're not getting up. And if I leave now, I can get up at some other place. And I was like, whatever, dude. I'm like, and I got bumped, obviously. But then I watched like 4 hours of Chappelle.
Yeah.
You know? And that happened. I didn't get bumped every time, but like a couple times I was at a show in LA and Chappelle would just show up and then just do basically that special where it's like, it's not even stand-up. It's just Chappelle being a genius. You know what I mean?
I do.
And because I'm a comedian, because I got bumped, because I whatever, I got to see that. I got to see raw Chappelle working out, whatever. And then when I saw it on Netflix, I was like, he's just fucking giving it to everybody. Because they can see what like a finished, polished, perfect Dave Chappelle special is. And at the same time, they can see like a rough and raw and like real gritty, like how good he is, you know? And there's so many experiences like that that I love about comedy, where I've met comics and then we have experiences and I will cherish them forever, you know? And I have those experiences with big famous comedians that people have heard and like local comics. And it used to be, people would say, oh, you do comedy, then you know so-and-so. Do you know so-and-so? Do you know, have you ever been here? And then I would say, how the fuck am I going to know every comic? But I've been doing it for like 12, 13 years or something at this point. And like, I kind of do. I kind of have been everywhere. I kind of know everybody or have met them. And that's what I, like, if people are like, what's the coolest parts about comedy? It's doing the work and doing the performances for me. But also like being around like weird, crazy people that do weird, crazy shit in the middle of the night. It's pretty awesome. Like I have a good, like when it's all said and done, I'll have all these stories of all these weird artistic things I did. I can't really, I mean, what's better than that? What is better than that?
I don't think anything. So then the question is, if somebody comes to you and they have the crazy in their eye, and you're like, you're a weird, crazy person who's going to create, would you still tell them to quit?
I tell people to quit stand-up. I don't tell them to stop being an artist. I tell them to go, if you're not about stand-up, get the fuck out of here. You know, like if stand-up is like a means to an end, then skip this and just go to the end. That's really the advice when I tell people to stop. If you're doing stand-up for any other reason than stand-up, you're wasting other people's good stage time and you're wasting your time, you know? And when do I quit? And what am I in this for? Those are two questions you should really ask yourself early on, and that's why I tell people that. That's why I tell people to quit. Because they should know ahead of time, you know, when am I going to quit and why am I doing this? You know what I mean? Like those are good questions for them to answer for themselves.
Know
it's
what
good
stop you're
advice.
getting
Somebody
off.
told me that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to do it anyway. I mean, people told me to quit, sometimes for good reason. But I have to do this. You know? I have to.
What is... Okay. I think the audience at this point understands that you are better than you give yourself credit for. What do you like about stand-up comedy?
I like hearing people laugh. Just hearing 100 people laugh all at the exact same time. That it's like it's literally the sound of joy. It's literally the sound of joy. And you know that you just did that, and it's them. It's this communal feeling. But like too, like when you rip, you know, like when you really got to them and you really shocked them, and they're really just releasing this tension that they've had. It's cathartic. Why would you not want to do that every day? That's why I make my friends laugh. That's why I make jokes to distract and make myself feel better about all this bullshit that's happening. Like what would be better than hanging out with 100 strangers, 200 strangers, 1,000 strangers, and all of us having this communal experience all at the same time, which now we never have. You know? I literally can't think of anything better than that.
What's the most
That's why I love comedy.
What's the most interesting venue you've done live comedy in?
The most interesting venue?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What's interesting?
That's for you to define. You've done comedy in a lot of different places.
I've done comedy in a lot of different places. All I can think about now is like nightmare stories. Okay. I did a show. This was interesting. Okay. I did a show, and right before me there was a San Francisco comic, and it's here in NorCal, but it's far from Sacramento, and it's in the hills. It's in the middle of nowhere, right? So there's a host, and it's the host room. So he does this like 10 minutes, and they're kind of getting settled in. So he's more just like kind of getting them ready for the show. And he brings up the feature. The feature came from San Francisco, and his feature's supposed to do 20 minutes, right? 5 minutes into his set, he's telling this joke about how he was at a concert and he heard somebody say white power, right? And the whole premise of the joke, the whole point of the joke is like, can you believe, that in 2018, people are still saying white power? Like, he literally, that's the point, that's the whole premise of the joke. He says it, he acts all shocked, he makes a zany face. And I'm sure in San Francisco, people are shocked that somebody at a rock concert said white power. But instead, somebody at the bar says, yes, here in such and such county, we're 97% white. You should know that. So then white guy, by the way, from San Francisco, no one's laughing, no one thinks this is shocking, and frankly, they agree. So he goes, he starts to lose his shit and just bails. Does 5 minutes of a 20-minute set. So the host, he's outside smoking a cigarette. He's not expecting this guy to go 15 short, and immediately brings me up. And doesn't mention what happened because he didn't see what happened. So essentially, somebody said white power, and everybody in the room was like, yeah, white power. And then the host brought me up. You know what I mean? Those are the most interesting nights. Because, at no point did I think I'm not going to do the show. At no point do I think I wasn't going to rip. And be 100% honest with you, I murdered that night. And, it was the best. It was, I mean, if somebody can, if somebody can dig a bigger hole, if a comedian can dig a bigger hole than that, because I have to fill his time now, too. I have to do an extra 15 so that we can all get paid for the show. You know what I mean? And I'm the only brown person here. What's better than that?
Okay, so I have two things to relate. Do you mind if can I share my relation?
By all means.
Okay, so the first one is I wanted to let you know that I have a Dave Chappelle story, it's a very, very adjacent adjacent Chappelle story. So
Okay.
I do my show, and you were going to do my show for the first time in March when everything got shut down. Mm-hmm. And I also do it at Punchline San Francisco. And I was there to do my show on March 10th, so right before everything got shut down. And the manager, really awesome guy, Marcus, was like,
yeah.
You have because I said, my DJ needs to set up because I have a DJ for my show because it has the queens and it has the comedians. And he said, your DJ's here. And I said, yeah, he's going to set up. Is that okay? And he said, yeah, he can set up over there where Dave's DJ sets up. And, I'm thinking he just dropped Dave so casually. I'm like, Dave Shapiro. I don't know many other Daves that do comedy. I know there's Wonder Dave in SF. Which Dave? And he was like, oh, Dave Chappelle. Because he had been there 2 nights before or something.
Okay.
And he was like, you and Dave Chappelle are the only two people with DJs, and they both set up in the same spot. That was his way of saying, your DJ goes there. But I just heard you and Dave Chappelle are the only people special enough that we have DJs. Your DJ can sit where Dave Chappelle's DJ goes. And in my head, I was like, yes, and me and Dave Chappelle will laugh about this one day. Okay, so that's my Dave Chappelle. And then the other story
Adjacent.
One of my first sets was in Roseville.
Okay.
And really weird show. This
Where
guy
in Roseville?
Huh?
Where in Roseville?
Bar 101.
Okay.
It was a Joey C show. And this guy comes in some exposition on this show. A gentleman came into Comedy Spot one night and brought 75 people to an open mic or something like that. Maybe 50. And Joey C said, how many people can you bring to a show? And the guy said, I can bring 100. And Joey C said, I would like to book you in a show. So they booked this guy in this show. He's done stand-up.
Smart man.
Yeah. All props to Joey C. This guy's done stand-up once at Comedy Spot. And the rest of the lineup was Joey C., Steve Milani, Teo Morgan, me, and then this guy that's done comedy once, headlining. So I got the idea.
Once before? And now he's headlining.
Yes. Because
nice.
he brought 100 people. It was his crowd,
Hey.
right? So I thought, like, oh, you know what? It's Roseville. I'm poor. I'm broke. I'm going to wear a wedding dress because I'm going to dress for the job that I want, not the job that I have. So I show up in a wedding dress with a bouquet and a veil at this bar in Roseville, and Teo Morgan, one of my friends, he goes, and you know him.
I know Teo. It's one of my friends.
He goes up before me, as he was supposed
Yes.
to, and he asked the audience. This was 2017. How many people voted for Trump? And 75% of the audience raised their hands. And
Yeah.
the other 25 from their face, I could tell they also voted for Trump, but they just didn't want to raise their hand. And I looked down, and I'm standing in a wedding dress, and I was like, oh. And I just started stepping backward, and I was like, this is not the show for Suzette Veneti. But I still did it. I went up, and I was supposed to do...
Did it go over well?
I was supposed to do 12 minutes, and I did 12 minutes.
Okay.
And I learned. I took my beating. I took my jabs.
Yeah.
You know what? By the end of the set, I had won over half the crowd.
That's pretty good.
So, lesson learned. Maybe too big an opportunity too soon, but I've never worn a wedding dress to do stand-up since. And that is not.
Yeah, me neither.
Not something I share with any famous comedians. All right. What is your favorite city for comedy?
I don't know. San Diego, actually. People in San Diego are really pretty. People in San Diego are very pretty.
I've never been. That's probably why.
Yeah. I was there with Sid a while back, actually, obviously before all this COVID shit. But this is back when they had that bullshit, like the ugliest cities in America, and somehow Sacramento made the list, which is impossible, but whatever. And then we were in San Diego, and we're like, are people in Sacramento really that ugly? Like, I don't think so. And then we were like, let's just look at everybody. We'll just walk around San Diego, and, they're just gorgeous, man. People in San Diego, for the most part, are fine. Like, I've seen, like, some Sacramento 8s working at, like the hot dog stand. What's that hot dog stand where they wear the stupid hat?
Hot dog on a stick?
Yeah, hot dog on a stick. Like, I seen a bitch that was there. I was like, why are you even working? Like, it's ridiculous, man. They're foreign in San Diego.
You're like, move to Sacramento and be a queen.
Yeah. Shit. Anyway.
Are there any cities that and you don't have to say this because I'm not trying to take money out your pocket. Are there Are there any cities that you are not in a hurry to go back to?
No, especially, that's the thing. I just want to make people laugh. So, I mean, I'm just telling a story about, a place where I'm set up to fail, and I still connected with that crowd. And, like, these days, I don't even know. I would say most comics are left-leaning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Right? So you would think, like, oh, whenever you're doing really conservative places, but I have to do corporates. I have to do churches, So I can be clean, and I can definitely be, like, non-confrontational if I need to be, And all the comics that can only do offensive and only go, hit the line, like, those places aren't open right now. Or they're open at a reduced capacity. But if you're willing to go into a conservative area and make those people laugh, there's a lot more There's a lot more venues right now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like I've never met a stage I didn't like. I love doing it, man. You know, like I love. I don't think there's a stage that I have not loved. Like made deep, deep, sweet love to.
And again, that's why you're good at this, because out of those 2,000 comics, there are a lot of stages that a lot of them don't like.
Mama said, like, you never want to go back to Roseville?
Oh,
that one
me?
set.
I'm pathological.
Yeah.
I'm going back. If somebody books me, I'll go tonight. It'll be my fourth show of the day. I don't care.
See, if they book you at Roseville, you'll go right there.
I'm pathological. Yeah. I'm broken.
Me too.
I'm just saying. Oh, and this is how I can prove there's like 2,000. Because the comedian Facebook group, which you're not a part of for reasons because it's stupid, you don't need to be part of it.
I need to get back in, though. I think Emma, whoever's in charge, Emma, please.
Oh, yeah. I think she watches the show. So, Emma Haney, hook it up. Get my guy Ellis in. He's got some credentials. He could be an asset to the comedian group.
She's tried to before, but yeah, I need to get back in the group.
She that group has over 1,000 people, like 800 people maybe. Close, so not over.
But there you go. That group only has 800 people. Then where do you get the other 1,000?
Because there are people that just show up to open mics that don't know about the group.
Yeah, maybe. I bet you half of that 800 doesn't really do comedy anymore.
They do.
They're just in the group.
They come out once a year. They're hobbyists.
Yeah, maybe.
But you host the Pro-Am at Laughs Unlimited, right?
I see one of probably 100 people.
I'm just saying.
I don't think there's
people
more than
come out. They have no
comics.
connection to the scene. They just decided one day to stop their investment banking job.
Oh, the Pro-Am's starting back up though too.
Oh, when?
Yes, ma'am.
When?
November 3rd, I think.
Okay.
Is that the first Tuesday in November?
Hey, viewers, you want to join the Pro-Am? First Tuesday in November?
Yeah, you have to email ahead of time on the website.
I don't really exist on Tuesdays. I'm sleeping, but if I'm ever awake on a Tuesday, I'll be there.
Okay.
Because it's a good opportunity, but you gotta bring some people, or you gotta be a club worker, right? Them still the rules. Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Follow the rules, get the opportunities. Ellis, you have been on the road a lot. What is your craziest?
A little bit.
What's your craziest road story?
My craziest road story?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Well, I can't tell any of the best ones because of statute of limitations, probably. What's a good road story? What makes up a good road story?
Something that either I can't believe happened or wouldn't happen to anybody but you.
Okay. What is a good road story? I have so much fun on the road. Okay. I did this show. He probably doesn't care. I'm sure he doesn't care. I did a show with this guy named Jason Wrestler in like bumfuck nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Elko, Nevada, I think it's called. And it's just like, Elko, Nevada is like 4 casinos and a gas station and a hotel or something. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't even know. And we get there and there was like a Hell's Angels or like a motorcycle thing that they were getting. I don't know. There just happened to be a lot of bikers there. And we drove together in his truck with his son. So it's me, him, and his kid. We drive all the way to Elko. Then we check in the hotel. We go to the show, and I do really, really well, and everybody likes me, and everything's fine, right? He gets up, and I don't remember what it is he said, but he pissed them off early, right? And then, like, they kind of turned on him, so he kind of turned on them, like, fuck you, you know? And Like it just didn't go well, and they told us we had to leave that night. They were like, "Yeah, you guys aren't going to be safe if you stay here that night."
That is it. I've met him once. That's a good story.
And then they sent us night, and like the funny thing too is like wrestler would talk shit to your face all day. He would just tell you you're a piece of shit. He would just say all this stuff. And then whenever he'd stop somewhere and he talked to the other comics or other people there, he would tell them how great you were, right? And then when you'd walk up, they'd be like, "Oh, you know, Jason was just talking to me about you." And then you'd be like, "What? What this piece of shit say? Fuck him! Don't listen to him." And then they would like look at you weird, like, "Oh, okay," because he had been saying like nothing but nice stuff behind your back, you know, but just being a dick to your face, you know. So then I think we had to drive all the way back. I ended up headlining for that Booker from then on. Thanks, Jason.
Thanks, Jason.
Yeah.
But
we didn't get. I don't think we got back until whatever it was, 5, 6 a.m. the next day.
Oh. But that's opportunity. See, that's what I'm talking about. These opportunities.
I'm Lou Gehrig, bro.
You're Lou Gehrig. They pop up, and then
I'm
you
Lou
got to make the
Gehrig.
most of them.
I'm Lou Gehrig. Lou Gehrig.
What are your feelings on real shows are coming back slowly? What are your feelings on the virtual shows?
Oh. Mamas, are you doing live shows lately?
Me?
You had brunch today, yeah, you.
Yeah, that's
You had
live.
brunch today.
Yeah, brunch today. Stand up, nobody. I mean, I don't get booked.
Because
so.
brunch just came back, right?
August 30th, we've been back.
Okay. Oh wow, Mamas, you've been doing brunch since August?
Mm-hmm.
Outside or whatever?
It was outside for a month, and then we moved inside.
Okay. Okay.
2 shows every day.
Yeah, I'm doing a bunch of live shows. I haven't been doing Zoom shows lately.
You think they're gonna stick? And I'm not talking like shows like this, or like Emma has a Let's Play with Jesse. I'm talking straight stand up shows. You think that's gonna stick?
Live stand-up shows?
No, virtual stand-up shows.
I think so.
Really?
I think there's a market for them now. There's a certain amount of people that are looking for that, I think. But that's not stand-up though, right?
To me, no.
No. I mean, I don't even know, like, to you. I mean, like, that's not. There's comedies, and then there's comedy movies, and there's comedy TV shows, and there's drag shows, and there's but stand-up comedy is like one person live on stage. That's the definition of stand-up, right?
Well, okay. So here's my thing, and I'm not blowing smoke, but when this all started, I knew somebody who had a chance to produce a pretty big streaming.
Can you see me?
Yeah.
I just started looking at me. I can't even see me.
You can't see me?
No, I can see you. I don't know if you can see me.
Oh, no, I can see you. So
Okay, tell me, Mom, what happened?
Okay, so they wanted a streaming show to be streamed to lots of people, and it had to be 30 minutes clean. And now the element of the crowd being there, because you're laughing. The element of the crowd being there. So there's a hurdle of doing 30 minutes. Not everybody that calls himself a comic can do 30 minutes. Your girl here could maybe squeak out 15. And that's after doing it for many years. So 30 minutes is and I'm only getting 15 if the crowd loves everything I'm saying. I got no plan B. I got no other pitches. Fastballs all the way. So 30 minutes clean. Now that's a whole bigger hurdle because now you're doing clean material. A lot of comics can't do 5 minutes clean, which you should if you're a new comic. If you ignore Ellis's advice and you don't quit, make sure you can do 5 minutes. Do 5 minutes as dirty as you want, and do 5 minutes as clean as you can be, because you need to be versatile. You have to be able to do both. Otherwise, what are you doing? That's my advice.
You're at home not performing.
Yeah. So 30 minutes clean, streaming. That's a whole different thing, right? Because now you're doing
Very
a
different.
show where you can't see the audience, so you need somebody who knows their jokes, their material. So, because you can't riff, you're not riffing much. I mean, a little bit, but not much because you're
Yeah.
not getting any feedback. So you don't know if it worked or not. So you don't know if you can keep going. So you need someone who knows their material front and back so well that they can get up and talk for 30 minutes, clean, to children included, and be funny. And to my knowledge, I said, and we just talked about how many great comedians there are in Sacramento, and so I probably didn't think about many of them because we named maybe 10 people that could vie for that Mount Rushmore. But I named you and Mr. Kyrie Shabazz as two people
Kyrie's amazing.
that could be, and you know why? Because you guys have done TV. And you guys are both very smart, and you have done so much that you have 30 minutes clean that you could do, that and you know how it works on TV. You know where the laughs are in your material, so you know where to stop.
Yeah.
Because with me, sometimes I'll just get up and be like, "Oh, I'm divorced," and the crowd starts laughing, and I'm like, "Y'all, that was the setup." But and live, I know to stop and get that laugh, take that laugh, and then I can build on it, or I can just move on to another joke. Fuck it, that joke's over. That was the joke. I'm divorced. Ha 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 ha. So I was at the bank.
And don't you think too, like when you're on Zoom, you're not going to get that.
You don't, even if you can see the audience.
In the same way.
Yeah, you don't.
So it's going to create different kind of performers.
But that's
why it's like yeah.
It's a tough question because I think stand up can be. You could do stand up where the audience can't see you, just like if you're doing a show on Comedy
You
Central.
can't. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's not good. I'm just saying unless it's a live crowd, it's not stand up.
It's not true stand up.
It's comedy. It's Zoom, and I don't know why. I'm not putting stand up over it, but just I like stand up. So if somebody was like, "Hey, why don't you write some funny stuff and then we'll be in a live show and it's like us talking to each other," I'd be like, "Well, then that's like a play or a duo or that's not stand up, right?"
Yeah.
Like, it's just different. And so I'm not saying Zoom is inferior. I'm saying I like a mic and a mic stand and a stool and a crowd, and that's stand up. I want to do that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
You have been working on another show as a producer.
Yes.
This is a teleplay.
I am?
Yes, a teleplay.
Oh, yeah.
Tell the audience about this teleplay.
So you know David Shapiro, obviously.
I do. He's on the show.
all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I cast him in a thing called Dick Fist, which is
Dick Fist.
Yeah,
Okay.
I guess teleplay is the best way to say it, and it's kind of like a radio drama from the olden times. And he did not want to do it. He's an actor, really good actor, and that's why I asked him to do it. And it's a show about a guy with penises for fingers, and he is a superhero. So I talked to Dave about it, and David was like, "Well, he loves me as much as you do, and so if you're doing something, I'm interested." And he was very disappointed in the script. I was very disappointed in the script at first as well.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I think David asked some of his friends or whatever to maybe read some parts, and they were not interested in doing it. But it's I think people aren't thinking about it right. It's a audio only project, written and produced by my cousin Michael Lannon, and it is incredibly sophomoric and immature, but at the same time it's not Rick and Morty, but it's a cartoon. It's kind of weird because it's only audio, but I think people should think of it as a cartoon, and I think they should think of it as Rick and Morty in that a lot of the surface jokes are very crude and basic and maybe disgusting sounding, but the talent that's behind it and the other layers that are going into it are very, very deep, actually. Like, you have to read, you have to, well, I haven't heard it yet because we're making it now. But when I read the third or fourth script, I started to get what Mikey is trying to do. And I think David told me the same thing. Like, after a while, you get that it's more of talking about pointing out how kind of silly some of the tropes of superheroes are.
Like it's self-aware?
It is self-aware. That's probably, that's a better way of saying it. It's
where can
I love it though. It's funny. It's gonna have score and Foley. Like, it's gonna be overly. It's gonna be so well produced that I think if you're a listener, you'll get it right away. You know, it might take an episode or two, but I don't think, like, when you read it, it kind of whatever. But I've been listening to what Mikey's been doing, and we just recorded with David. I don't know when I saw Shappy, whatever day it was last week. He was phenomenal, and I've been hearing what it is. It's so overly produced about a character that's so ridiculous that it's you can tell right away that it's satire, you know, and that nobody making this is really thinks that a superhero with dick fingers makes any sense, but does it make do any superheroes make sense? I think it's what it's asking. So
I think somebody with dicks for fingers would be popular at drag brunch. Just a hunch, but
should be.
When can the viewers look out for this? Do you have a time frame?
We don't. We're trying to do finish all of the primary recording before the end of the year, and I actually think that there might be some artwork, which is strange, but artwork and marketing things at the beginning of next year. But I think 4/20 actually is the scheduled release date for
Okay.
Dick Fist.
All right. We'll have to stay in touch and keep a lookout for that.
You should interview Shappy.
Okay.
You should interview Shappy too and see what he says about it, because I feel I don't know. He's so good, and I feel embarrassed that I asked him to do it.
It's
such a silly idea.
I'll see if I can get him to talk about it.
All right.
That's all. Is there anything I wasn't smart enough to ask you about?
No, God, no. No,
Okay.
You're perfect.
All right.
And I also got to run.
Well, do you have time for...
I love your face. I miss you.
I love your face, too. Do you have to run, like, really quick, or do you have time for rapid-fire questions?
Oh, no, I have just enough time for rapid-fire questions. I also have to pee.
Okay. All right. I'll try to go fast. And it goes as fast
No,
as you
I'm
want to
ready.
go. I forgot to write them in the script, so I'm frantically pulling them up. If you were going up tonight in stand-up comedy, what would your walk-up song be?
Oh, I don't know how who sings it, whatever. But it's that. You ever heard that? Win, 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 win. Fuck everybody else.
No.
Win, 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 win. It's fantastic. I think it's called Win, 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 Win.
I like it though.
It's the opening theme song too for BA Black as Fuck or something on Netflix.
Okay.
It's a fantastic song. Win, 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 win. You should listen to it.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Phenomenal.
What is the weirdest or funniest thing an audience member has ever said to you after a show?
Oh, after a show. There was a woman who jumped up like out of her seat to run out of the show as I was talking. And then there was like an awful spell and she apparently shit herself. And then I made a joke about, I made a disgusting, I'm not going to repeat it, but I made a disgusting joke. And then that drunk bitch told me afterwards that she thought that was hilarious. And so if I've ever said anything offensive to somebody, it was that night. And like, I don't know. That was my favorite, I guess. I shouldn't have brought it up because I can't repeat it.
Okay, I mean, now we are dying to know. But if you ever decide you
No.
want to repeat it, come back.
Contact me later. Contact me later.
That's good for me. And if anyone wants to
Yeah.
send you some coin, send Stab some coin. Maybe they can get on that. We can be a Patreon special. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying send everybody some coin. What is your favorite venue to perform in?
My favorite venue is Laughs Unlimited, hands down. That's where. It's the first comedy club I ever went to, and it's the first stage I ever pictured myself on, and I had to earn my stage time there, and then I got kicked out of the club. So when they brought me back and kicked me out again, I've been really grateful to get back on there. But I'm most comfortable at Laughs Unlimited, and I love that. It has a good vibe to it. It's a good place to create.
Do you have a favorite recurring show to perform in?
I mean, other than your show, Suzette,
you.
we do the. I love the pro-am, but once again, I love doing the artwork. So, before the pro-am, which is the first and third Tuesday of every month, I get together with the AMs and we do a writing session. And so, being around a bunch of young comics that are hungry and want to talk art, and then performing with them and a bunch of professional comics. I'd say that's probably, and it's at Laughs Unlimited, my favorite venue. So that's probably my favorite show.
So you mentioned that you are helping take care of your godchildren. Do you have a least favorite kids TV show?
God, which one? They watch a show called Bunked. Have you ever heard of this show?
Mm-mm.
All right, mamas. It's like bad camp or something. Like they're like the lake has acid in it, and everything's outdated and everything's whatever supposed. That's how they talk about it.
Yeah.
But when you look at the sets, everybody is white and happy and whatever, and they got a token this and a token that. And I think it's like a Disney show, but it's just like a YouTube video pressed out into like 20 some odd minutes, where it's a bunch of like little kids like overreacting to all this stuff and like speaking in a way that children just don't act. And it's so hypnotic to them that they literally like, like a kid will say something on Bunked, he'll make like a weird face and then say this like overly dramatic thing. And my god kids will literally repeat it right after he says it, and then repeat it in conversations later.
I think I have.
You know what I mean?
I think I have heard of it, but
Yeah.
I'm single. and
There's this thick chick
childless.
named Lou on the show
Mhm.
who's got carrot cakes, which is like my thing. And so I watched that chick. So I'm not gonna say it's the worst show in the world, but other than like it's just, I don't know, man. It's just god awful. It's just like I don't know if I was like this when I was a kid, but it's like watching them be programmed right in front of you. They're like literally repeating the phrases and the big wonky faces like moments after they see it. It's very creepy. I hate that show.
What is the best kids show disguised as, or the best adult show disguised as a kids show?
Clone Wars.
Oh.
Star Wars Clone Wars is, I just rewatched it the other day, but it's everything you wish the prequels were. Like, I don't know if you like, I'm a Star Wars nerd, and if you like Star Wars, you might have not liked everything about the prequels. Oh, I'm going to be Darth Maul for Halloween, by the way.
Okay.
It's going to be fun.
I'm into Queen Amidala's style.
Oh, are you going to do, is that what you're doing for Halloween?
I'm keeping a secret what I'm doing, but no, because I don't have that budget.
Amidala.
Huh?
Yeah. You'd be a good Amidala.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a Darth Maul, but Clone Wars. It's a cartoon, so it's kind of a kid show, and it's got some kiddie elements, but it's got like that's a great show. It's a great show.
Who's your favorite comic?
My favorite comedian
Mm-hmm.
of all time is Dave Chappelle. I don't even know what I'm thinking about it. He inspires me. He's a genius. He's a god.
What is your favorite thing about the existence of brunch?
You.
Oh, well, you have
Easy.
to you have to come to brunch first before you can say that.
You're the only thing I know about brunch.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's why it's my favorite part. So, but I will go next month. Make sure I
Uh,
get the invite next month, and I'm gonna go with it.
yeah,
I might
we
bring
should
Sam
talk.
with me as well.
We should talk.
Second best roommate in the world.
Figure out a date.
Okay.
Okay, I have no transition for this question. You can answer a funny, serious. You can pass. What's your favorite sex position?
Oh wow, doggy style. That's easy. Everybody
Okay.
knows that. That's why I do my West work.
All right.
Who doesn't? Does everybody say that?
No,
Oh wow, that's awful. What else is there?
I get that one a lot. I get doggy style a lot. I also get I get like joke answers, like sitting on the couch with a pint of ice cream.
Okay.
I'd have to go back and catalog it. That's not one that I
Okay.
actually remember all the answers.
Doggy style's got to be the number one. I hope.
I think it is. I think
percentage wise.
You know, I should
The
keep
best.
stats. I should keep stats on it and be like, that's another one for doggy. Just like a tab board behind me, like that's another one for doggy style.
Yeah.
Doggy style takes the lead.
I like ass. What else? I mean, how are you supposed to best enjoy?
There was another one where legs were up, the guy's legs were up, and the woman's legs were down. And I was like, how does that work? But somebody said it. Do you cook or bake?
Cook or bake?
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
Like in the kitchen. No euphemism.
Oh,
Do
I
you-
cook. Yeah, I cook. I guess I don't bake anything. I'm not a baker.
Yeah. If we're at the bar, you and me at the bar, well, David and I argue, and he says baking is not creative, and it's cooking is creative, and baking is for lames. But I'm a baker, and he is a cook, so that's why I'm just like, okay, another cook.
But I think baking is very creative, right?
No, I mean, I think
Cupcake?
so.
No.
but I don't. I think it can.
Maybe
be.
I'm missing something.
There's a directions, and that's the creative. Follow the directions. Can you do it? If you can't do it, what's wrong with you? How do you mess it up? Okay. If we're at the bar, we're at bar.
Yes.
You come to drag brunch. We're at the bar or a comedy show. You come and we're at the bar after the show, and somebody comes up and
Okay.
they say, "I want to buy you 2 shots." You're picking what we're drinking. What are we drinking? What are we shooting?
Tequila.
Okay. What kind of tequila?
I normally go for Cazadores because they tend to have it. It's popular. They tend to have it, but yeah. These days, I love Abuelo rum. I don't know if you've ever had. It's this rum that they made from Panama, and I just love it. And I've been seeing it lately, and so I've just been like, "What? You got Abuelo?" So I've been shooting rum.
You got
So if you can't do tequila, you can do spice rum.
I'm in for. I'm in to support Panama with the rum. Okay. If same situation, someone's buying us drinks at the bar, what are we drinking?
I'm really basic. I do Long Islands or I'll do Manhattans just because the bartenders can make them pretty easy. You know,
do you
hard
ever-
to mess up.
What kind of whiskey in the Manhattan?
Not there. Yeah, I'm not really picky.
Oh no, Ellis.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just.
What's your favorite whiskey? I just don't want to do the well. That's the thing. Like,
I think Wild
what I
Turkey.
found is that I do so many shows in so many different areas
Mhm.
that if you start going, I really like this beer, I really like this wine, I really like this drink. Now you're in some weird city and they don't have the thing you want.
Well, yeah, for beer and wine, but
You know?
but spirits are usually the same across the board.
You'd be surprised.
Mm.
You'd be surprised. Like, I went through this very strange phase where I just needed Grand Marnier all the time.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why, but there
Okay.
was a lot of places where I fell in love with the Grand Marnier, but I realized it was the way it was being served at one particular bar in Sacramento.
Oh, what bar?
You know, I think it must have been Last. It was one particular bartender, but when you would order it warm, they would put it in a glass, and then they put that in another glass with hot water in it. And during the winter, the way they served it, just like warm Grand Marnier, it was just, I don't know.
It does sound delightful.
But they don't serve it that way anywhere else.
Right.
You know? So then you're just kind of unhappy and you got the sticky kind of, I don't know. So I stick to basic bitch shit because I'm only going to have 2 drinks and I'm going to drive home.
Oh, you stick to basic bitch shit? If somebody served me Fireball warm in a cup of hot water, we're going to have a very sloppy Veneti on our hands. Okay. This one is important. This is
whatever the fuck that means.
I mean, someone's going to have to...
A sloppy Veneti?
Yeah, someone's going to have to get me home and take out my contacts.
Okay.
Okay. Important question. More important than sex.
More important. Wow.
Toilet paper, over or under?
Over.
Thank you. Yes. Okay, I knew I liked you.
It's good enough for government work. It's good enough for me.
I don't... The worst is when people don't have a preference. I'm like, what kind of monster are you?
Sick of.
Do you have a favorite drag queen?
You. Suzette, come on.
Thank you. You need to come to brunch, stat,
so
easy. You can see some good ones.
I'm into brunch. I'm coming.
Yeah, no,
it's every
I know.
week, right?
It is every week, 2 shows a day,
Okay.
10:30 and 12:30. Yeah. I just want to show you some actual good drag queens.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite drag king? Have you ever seen a drag king?
Never, no.
Okay. I will suggest some to you really quick.
Okay.
Okay, so one...
Do they come to brunch?
We've had one at brunch so far. We're booking all the competitors from this reality show that just happened, and there was only one king and the rest were queens, so we have to get through that. And then we do have plans to bring in some more kings. So if you want to come one of those times, I'll let you know when that would be.
Okay.
But some kings, if anyone's watching, and I think maybe... So here's the 3 that I'm going to suggest, and I'll give reasons why. One doesn't exist yet. It's Emma Haney. She was on the show, and she's expressed a desire to become a drag king. And I'm here for that.
Okay.
And she's like, she asked the question, she was like, can I just do Roy Orbison songs? Is that okay? And I was like, yes. Be the Roy Orbison drag king. Own that corner. That's your corner from now on. Like, do it. Come up with a name. I need you to have a name, and I need you performing stat. 2, old school cat in Sacramento. Real sort of like dapper gentleman. Maybe like an Isley Brother type vibe. Got a hat. Spade Ransom is the gentleman's name. And then also we have the drag poncho of Sacramento.
Spade Ransom?
Spade Ransom.
What race is Spade Ransom?
Spade Ransom is a black man. A black king.
And he goes by Spade?
Yeah.
That is where can I see Spade?
You know, I don't know because it's COVID times, but when it's not COVID times, I'll find out. We'll go to a Spade show.
And he's here in Sacramento.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other one is performing a lot lately, and he's known as the drag poncho of the 916. So you might like that.
Okay.
Clive Max.
Clive Max.
Clive Max.
Damn, those are good names.
Drag kings have the best names. Drag kings have the best names.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Okay. One last one. Do you think I'm pretty?
Who?
Do you think I'm pretty?
Do I think you're pretty?
Uh-huh.
I think half of the face of yours I can see is pretty. Yeah, sure.
Okay. Fair. I'm hiding the other half for a reason. Okay.
Yeah.
Last question. When all of this is over, restrictions are lifted. There's a new normal, an old normal, whatever normal. We have a normal finally to get to. What are you looking forward to most?
After the show, you all have this argument about what alcohol's the best, and then you have a big shot, and then everybody goes out in the front and they have cigarettes, and you just start yelling at each other about the show and where you're going to be, and hanging out with comics and hanging out with the 3 audience members that were like cool enough to kind of like make the group, and then go get a pastrami burger at O'Malley's and the hangouts after the shows. I missed that so bad. I didn't even realize how much I needed it in my life. But hanging out at shows with the other performers afterwards and commiserating, and that's what I miss the most about normal.
I think with shows going back inside, something like that might be available soon, and I hope it is.
Yeah,
For
me
you.
too.
Ellis, that's all I got.
I'm out, boo boo. I gotta go.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
November
I need
27th.
to get a better light next time.
Oh yeah, it's a thing I've
Yeah.
noticed with some guys.
Yeah.
You had good light when we started. It's late, but
Just went bad,
you
yeah.
are going to be in better light November 27th to 28th at Laughs Unlimited.
Perfect light at Laughs Unlimited. Come
Yep.
see me.
Inside jokes inside the showroom. Come see him. Get your tickets now. Who else is in
Please.
the show? Who's hosting?
I don't know.
Okay.
Jenny hasn't booked it yet, so
Okay, well,
I'm sure it'll be good.
you're headlining, so that's enough reason. So Bees and Booze, make it out to see Ellis. Ellis, thank you so much. Love you.
Thank you, Suzette.
Enjoyed
you, Momos.
enjoyed having you. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye. All right, that was Ellis Rodriguez. You can check him out at Laughs Unlimited, or you can find what he's doing with Dick Fist if and when it comes out. And that's all the things you can find him in. And we're going to round out the show with voice actor. He's not failing at that, apparently. Actor, producer, comedian, whatever he is, David Shapiro. David, hi.
Hey, Suzette. First, I just want to say I want to make an apology to Faye Menon for interrupting her during her answer last week. My sound cut out on my Zoom, and I was mortified when I saw the playback. I just interrupted her in the middle.
Okay, I will pass that along to her. I think it's really nice that you'd apologize.
Yeah, I just wanted to express my apologies.
Well, you just interrupted
Um,
me. You just did it again. Your Zoom connection. You were saying is
Oh,
wonky.
no, that was on purpose. I don't mind interrupting you.
I hate you so much. Okay. Well,
Well,
what-
I was talking with my brother about your show last week.
Okay, but do you want to talk
Yeah,
about?
the dating segment with Chelsea and Heather Weber
Okay.
specifically, and how it takes a special person to date a performer.
Okay. So not
No.
talking about your acting
I am
job.
a performer.
You are the performer. Yeah. So you're looking
Really?
to date. What? You're not. You're not a performer. I don't. What are you? a
And I've
performer or not?
danced competitively.
Yes. Okay. You can dance, but
And I talked last week to Faye about maybe trying out drag.
please don't do that.
You know I'm a performer.
Yeah, I do. I acknowledged it. You just assumed I didn't.
So yeah, I was hoping to learn the same thing that you and Chelsea are going to learn about how to date, because dating is something I don't even try to do, honestly.
Well,
'cause
I've been
I think
wanting
I'm
to
so
talk
bad.
to you about that. Actually,
I know.
I just feel like your life could benefit from like a grounding presence, like a loving
I
presence.
agree.
Okay, so then what? Do you know you're a sucky person
Okay,
to date?
so here's the thing. I'm a great boyfriend and a great husband.
I bet your ex-wife disagrees.
Well, she'd be lying if she said I wasn't a great boyfriend and husband. And honestly, she'd probably still tell you that I was a great boyfriend and husband. It's not being the boyfriend and husband. Can I use an acting term here?
What do you mean?
So, like, once I get the role, I'm fine. It's the auditioning process that I hate.
In dating?
Yeah, I don't like it in real life either, to be honest.
Okay, so maybe you should get advice from Heather Weber and Chelsea Bierce, but let me try. What's the problem?
Well, I
Why
don't
can't you get a
even-
date.
I don't even try, I guess, to start.
Why?
Last time I dated, I did have a girlfriend after my wife, but we didn't.
Mm-hmm.
There was really no dating process. Like, I already knew her. Last time I dated was 2004, if you even count that, because I also knew my ex-wife before we dated. The world was a different place. I don't want to do online or app dating.
Where do you think you're gonna meet women? Is
Yes.
it women, right?
Yeah, women.
Okay, well, where are you
I don't
gonna
know.
meet them?
I don't know.
Why not online
I
dating?
don't want to feel rejected by the entire internet.
But you want to be an actor?
That's a good point.
So what's the problem?
Okay, so here's the question I have for you. Do I put all my baggage and red flags in the dating profile, or do I wait until I'm dating her? Because I think you put them all up front. But everyone's telling me don't do that because then you'll never get a date. And I'm like, yeah, but if I do that, then like I spring all the bad stuff on her.
I mean, I guess it depends on the baggage.
Being 37, mentally ill, chronically depressed,
That's
in
you.
financial ruin, baseline suicidal. I
Yep.
have 2 pugs.
Okay, well, that's just normal person stuff, really. All of it.
Yeah. How about still in love with the person that my ex-wife was?
That's a problem, actually. Yeah, that's a big problem.
And you're kind of a big presence in my life.
That, I don't see why that's a problem. I think, if anything, selling point.
Well,
I know Suzette
it
Veneti.
hasn't helped so far, has it?
Well, it'll never happen if you don't put yourself out there, silly goose.
Well, why don't you and Chelsea and Heather do that show so I can watch and learn, and then maybe I'll be able to figure stuff out.
Yeah, okay, we'll figure it out.
Okay, well,
We're working on it.
I gotta go, Suze. Late.
Abrupt.
I gotta get ready.
Ready for what?
An acting project.
Oh, is it Dick
I'll tell you
Fist?
more about it in another episode.
You could have done it here, but okay, bye, David.
Bye.
Okay, bye. What a weirdo these last few weeks. You don't let him on one episode after you ask him to guest host, and then he does that. Okay, anyway, that's the show. Thank you for watching. It's October 25th. We'll be back next week, this is October 18th. We'll be back next week, October 25th, with Robbie Sandler. You saw him last week for a brief time if you watched the show. Thank you to Ellis Rodriguez, to Mean Dave, to Jesse, to Stab Comedy Theater, and to you guys for tuning back in after Comcast sucked. Boo, Comcast. Go vote. Thanks, bye.
The city's your playground. I watch you take a bite. At 5 a.m. roaming the streets, drunk all night. You think you're hot shit, and ooh, I love it. I love it. Yeah, yeah. Stumbling, but yeah, you're still looking hella fine. Keep doing what you're doing, and we'll make you mine. Hot mess, and I'm falling for you. And I'm like, hot damn, let me make you my boo. 'Cause you can shake it, shake it, shake it. How can it be permissible? She come from